we are having right now, we will be listening to Dr. Projesh Roy. Projesh Roy is a PhD from Delhi University and presently serving as a librarian at Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences for Women, University of Delhi. He is also the coordinator of Library and Information Studies, IGNOU, in the college. Dr. Roy is an awardee of many prestigious awards like InfoShare, SIZ3, etc. He is also the chairperson of Technology Transfer and Innovation. So, Dr. Roy, the floor is yours.
Very good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Bhattacharya. I must say it, it's my pleasure and thankful to Mr. Soumya Gupta for conducting such wonderful international event. At the same time, I must appreciate Ms. Atika Khanna. She is always appeared to me as a university topper. She is an asset to any organization. Thank you so much. Dignitaries, today I have taken out the topic. It is not what library hold, it is accessibility has great significance. Indian initiative. Let's have a look. In the before 15th century, this part of the world was enlightened with the education, technology, innovation, research. Their most developed area. They have given a lot of ideas to this world. But after exactly in the 15th century, what happened? In 1515, Ottoman Sultan Selim I, he has imposed ban on the printing machine, which was invented in 1455, exactly after 360 years of its invention. In 1870s, the first book was printed in Iran. What happened within 362 years of period, the whole knowledge, research, innovation, ideas, communication, interaction had stopped. It was depend on the handwritten manuscript. So we cannot explore the ideas. We cannot reach out the innovation to the common man. The knowledge stagnated. On the other hand, in India, from 300 BC to even 19th century, we have been people invaded, looted, demoralized, degraded. So what happened when people are fighting against any worst? So the idea innovation cannot work properly. So those all by a single individual or by a group of people, when doing such kind of act, so it's nothing, it's a knowledge eclipse. It is not the solar eclipse, it's the knowledge eclipse, where you cannot find the knowledge, innovation, the ideas. Generation cannot move ahead. So on the other hand, many part of the earth, they have shifted their libraries from the castle to the public library, from the fort, from the mosque, from the temple, from the church. They have shifted to the public library. Why? The reason behind to disseminating knowledge to the common people, common man, to uplift their livelihood, to make them aware what is happening surrounding them. That was the main motto. What happened next? Immediately after that, what we done, very focusedly, we reach out with the book to the masses by mobile library. That is nothing. It's a concept of the physical knowledge network. Understand the concept. Because we need to make people aware, we need to make people informative, that they could read, write, and understand, they analyzed, and they can do their best in their different sector where they are working, they are thinking, they are acting. As far as the days change, today's date, the generation has their different demand. They are much more busy because they have to do many works which was not previously. As Madam says, that is after 2000 the children born, really they are in a very hardship. And sometimes they are sometimes very rigid, and they were very positive. So how we can make available the resources to those children, to this generation? We have to think forward. On the basis of this need, exactly on this need, Government of India started National Knowledge Network. They have connected all the universities, colleges throughout the country. And with the 100 Mbps internet connectivity, either it could be a college, could be a specialized research center, could be a university. So all are connected together. It is the reason behind that we need to reach out the research, the knowledge, innovation to our new generations. If we look at the secondary level, even the school level, the Government of India has initiated the NCERT, and majority of the books, textbook, which is best needed by the student, they can access through their QR code. They can tap the QR code, the whole books is come up, even through the Android applications, even through login with the common PCs. Central Board of Secondary Education, they have almost done majority of the books in different subjects digitally. They have enlisted in their website. Any books a student want to take out, they can take out its whole PDF, or they can read as a normal book preview. That has been done by the subject specialist in Indian continent. As far as e-consortium is concerned, it was initiated in the 2003, and 2010 it's come up with a huge concept. And probably every universities, colleges, institutions are well connected with this e-consortium. There are different consortium previously that has merged in Shodh Sindhu. Here exactly, you can able to access 1,64,300 books, more than 10,000 journals, and another 6 lakhs of books from National Digital Library. There are 3,200 colleges, 217 universities are connected with these resources. On the other hand, another most important initiative by the Government of India is plagiarism check. Free of cost, every institute in India, either it could be a college or university or any specialized institutions, they got the accessibility of the Urkund software. So that's why it's called Shuddhi, that's mean filtration of research. So here, total documents submitted, 6,12,474. There are 88,199 users. There are 1,035 institutions are member on that particular portal. There are another important venture which is done by the Government of India, Ministry of Education. It is Enlist. Enlist is a concept where every colleges, it is basically made for the undergraduate student. So every colleges has the accessibility. It is not the IP-based connectivity. So if you have a login ID, you can able to access at your home at any places. So here you can find there are 5,36,031 users till date. And within that period, in September, there are 14,130 users has been added. There are 3,254 beneficiaries colleges are there. If you look at the download capacity of different journals, you can see the JSTOR, Indian journals, H.W. Wilson, Oxford University Press, Royal Society of Chemistry, Institute of Physics, American Institute of Physics, Annual Review. The quantum of pages has been downloaded in 2018-19. On the ebook, publisher-wise usage of ebook, you could understand the eBray, Net Library, Sping, Sage, Taylor and Francis, OSO. There are many publishers. This is the quantum of download done by the university student scholar in university in India. If we look on the open access initiative in India by the government of India, that is, the InfluNet has created Infoport, where they have created one subject gateway. On subject gateway, they have arranged the subject on the basis of the Dewey Decimal Classification number. Suppose a person do not know the Dewey Decimal Classification number, they can browse it with the alphabetical order of a subject. So if you want to click, suppose I am going to click on Library Information Science, so I can able to access what is the free journals, free books on different subjects. Here you can, if we got book and borrow, so you can go directly to this particular portal. You are able to access all the ebook over here. Beside this, you can directly go to the National Institute of Science and Communication Information Resources, NISCARE. Here you can able to access all the e-journals available within this website or with this institute. On the other hand, there is another important databases which has been created. It is called Shodh Ganga. It's a reservoir of Indian theses. There are around 275,000 theses of doctoral theses are there. Sometimes postdoctoral theses also is available over there. It is open access, free of cost, anywhere. Any student can download and can read, can go through with all those theses. Now, if you look at the accessibility of this theses, in the March 2020, there are 7,897 theses added. And you can see it is not only one language. There are many languages. It's Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, Marathi, Malayalam. There are many languages over there. It is not restricted to any one single language. Within this lockdown period, there are page viewed 232,292 up to 31st March 2020. Now here is the number of theses added during this lockdown, 3,160 theses added within these databases. Beside this, we have a Shodh Gangotri. It is a repository of Indian research in progress detail. Probably such kind of database is not available in many places in this art. In Government of India, what they have done, whatever the synopsis approved by the different department of the university, they had been taken out and they created one databases that's called basically Shodh Gangotri. Through that, one can, suppose a person wanted to find some kind of synopsis, or they can think of researching something, so they can search related topic on that particular topic concept. Now, EP Pathshala, basically e-Pathshala. Here also very much interactive content are there. There are videos are there, and you can see there are 2,731,391 has been viewed till date. Somebody liked, somebody disliked, somebody shared all those content to their homogeneous group of their friends or the colleagues. E-Adhyan is nothing. There is another repository by the different specialists in India. They contributed their books and theses over there. Vidyamitra is another important. Here is there are many subjects are allied in one places. Any student wanted to find any concept, any ideas or any content, they can search through it. It's a very much interactive portal, or they can ask for their expert. They can give the example, different example, or they can analyze their queries also. Swayamprabha is a DTA channel. Through that, the information can reach out to the masses So one specialist can sit in a studio. They can reach out to the common people in a specific subject. Besides this, eKalpa Android, which is been done, it is basically a kind of GPS application system. So it is basically for the agriculture farmer. So the agriculture specialist usually immediately they interacted, they give some kind of ideas if they have some kind of problem in their workplace. Besides this, Vidwan is another databases for the majority of the researchers, scientists. Their citations, their work has been written over there. It's really a database of Indian origin scientists, faculties, teachers, specialists. This is another important is eYantra. It is basically done by the IITs Bombay in collaboration with, and they have, if a student is doing some kind of mechanism or something like that, they can take help from this portal. Indian Research Information Network System is another portal which one can set out their publication, their citation. So it's a kind of databases, almost like ResearchGate or Google Scholar or Microsoft Academic, but it is very much on Indian. So anybody can search, anybody can map. So these are the concept has been developed and done. eAcharya also another portal who can take help of that. At the end of the day, Government of India they have done already National Digital Library of India. Here you can see there are 5,255,112 resources available throughout from school to postdoctorate. So any book, any thesis, or any research, any article, if you wanted to access from there within Indian origin, which is open access, they can directly available for you. It is for the people of India. So every masses, they are able to access all the information available in different libraries throughout the country. What is impacted? What is the benefit of those? This is basically India ranked, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research ranked 75th in internationally. ICAR 491 rank, but they are first, fifth, 1941. The research publication has developed. Here you can see from 2000 to 2018. This is the data of 2020. And you can see the changes of India's research publication. It's going very high. It is because of the generation of information, dissemination of information to the masses, to the everybody, making reach out. Here you can see the different countries which are most appreciable position on the research publications. Here is the India's stand is 5th. In 2018 it was 5th. Probably in 2019 we'll get the data that will be 4th or 3rd. Coming to the Indian researcher on million, India has ranked 10 out of 19, or there is many databases. Now here you can see in science and engineering and articles in all fields for region, countries, economics, India ranked 3rd. And the most important aspect is that the average growth rate of India on research and its publication is 10.73. It is more than China, more than United States, but lesser than Iran. Iran is very much innovative right now. They have a 10.99 as per the data is showing. So Iran is first one and the second one is India. So why this is done? Why this has happened? Because in India, government initiate that we make knowledge free to everybody through digitally. That is why still we are in a very sunshine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Roy, for this elaborate and very interesting presentation where you have covered almost all aspects of research tools and techniques and databases available which people can refer, and they can actually go through all these resources. Now, specifically, the idea of open access, idea of how this open access resources could be useful for people is very important for our future generations to come and the present researchers also. So this is a very informative document altogether.